in the office?
No,
No, I'm going to do that last.
he wants to do that last, Ashley.
Coat, well, these are a little bit new. They had them a little different, but not really. Benches are still the same, but not in this area.
She's waiting for her brother. Well, we know what's in here. That's
It's
the
file
other part of
cabinets.
the gym. Look at that boiler unit, Tom.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. I
You
gotta get a
think that's
photo.
original?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Tom, look at that. Whoa. See, that's the problem. Stuff has to be-
Was the restroom.
Well, there's
No,
the
this is
kindergarten.
the-
Oh, this is preschool, kindergarten.
This is where her Mrs. Chambers was at.
Yep.
Huh? Yeah.
Okay, bathrooms.
Coat hangers. They used to put Dr. Seuss lined up along the wall if you read. Now, this is the room up ahead on the left side, not authorized staff. Never was in there.
No.
This I was, though.
Wasn't it a nurse office down here?
No, that was another part. This is the room I was in. This was the music room.
Oh, music room, okay.
Yep. Big difference. This is the way this was the music room. When I was here, anyway.
Little tile.
Yep. See my. Yep. I have no idea. And this was the great heating system they had. I remember it would sit here in the other rooms too. It'd blow out and it wouldn't grow a lot of heat. That ticking noise on that vent though, I remember those noises. That's what they used to do. There used to be a fan that would run and you get that. It's exactly what it would do too.
These are marked number 15. This is a shit.
Those are part of the lots.
They're auctioning off. See,
Yep.
that way. We know how that works for auctions.
Yes, we do. This was vaguely, maybe I'm wrong, but this might have been Miss Vrabel's class.
Science.
Yeah, I could tell this was science, but this one I was in here once. Yep. Chalkboard. Miss Vrabel's class, I believe, was the first one on the right. But there is one class I do want to go into, though. These are all interconnected. I'm pretty sure this might have been it. Not this one, but this was Miss Vrabel's class. I had this class once. The tables, I remember. Dylan's room might have been the one next door.
Over there.
No, the one that's across from this other room.
There was in Napier, too.
Yes, that was Ashley's.
Didn't Miss Napier work with Miss
Yeah.
This is weird.
This might have been Dylan's room. Yes, it was, because these were all interconnected rooms.
Okay.
There used to be another entrance over. They walled them. There was no wall here. This was her room. This was her class.
Okay.
Yeah, it was because the computers were partly over there.
Okay.
Yep. There's that noise again. That's the way they always were. I never forgot that though.
So that's just a fan running?
Yeah. But of course, so I'm looking back at the last time I was in this school.
And then
I
you
got
have
here in
a window that,
'98.
that's funny.
I think
yeah,
the last time I was in a class here was like '02 or '03, '04-ish, somewhere right around there. We're talking well over 20 years ago. Yeah. They never had walls though. This was all one room from here over. This was an entrance room. You could go right into the next class without having going out in the hallway.
Okay.
That's how I remember
But they
that.
kind of blocked them off.
Yes, they did. Yeah. See how they did that? Each room had its own doorway, so you didn't have to go out to the hallway. You can transfer back and forth. They changed that. That was not like this when I was here. The bookshelves are still like the same though. That's still original. That like looking like those. I don't know if it's in the same spot, but I remember seeing those. Another part of the PA system. Yeah.
Yeah, she needs like these cabinets.
Yep.
Like you need a truck back.
I had a locker up here, but I don't remember which one it was exactly. Yeah. This class I did not have. I do remember that. That I remember. They take the paper over it, big notebook paper, wrap it over the front of that, and actually write on it. That's what Miss Dillon had.
Okay.
Just no different than that thing right
One
there.
of her kids, I wonder how old her kids are now.
I have no idea.
Oh my God, when you were in school.
I think she's 20 years older than me. She's got to be in her close to 50 by now.
Yep.
Yep. I remember that.
Okay. The carpeting, everything, you just don't take.
Carpeting is still the same.
Yep.
I never really did much to that. The floor was replaced though.
What could you see them doing with the school, Tom?
What do I see them they could have did?
With this.
This wall was not here. This was all one room. You crossed over and all they had was a bookshelf right where this window would be at. And it would be blocking the way to get around that. Yeah. This class I did not have. I don't remember who was in this room. Except for the ceiling. There's your Cowboy Creamery. Yep. Now the first door on the left was Mrs. Dillon's class for some time
Okay.
after I left. But the class I had her in was down farther on the other class. But she was in this room. After I got out of things, yet the floor is still original. That never changed. Oh, that smell. Yeah. This was part of her class. Part of it that they had. With that in mind.
Dude, but we got a map, Tom.
I know. I see that. This is original. That's the way that paper looked when I saw it too.
I wish they would have kept like on the board. They would have kept like names around.
This one I don't remember who this was. Some of I never had some of these classes, but the floor
Oh,
was,
get the floor.
wow.
I love the floor.
Floor is original. Yeah.
I'm not even cruel to it, Tom. I just want a picture of the...
Yep. That I waited here, and they put a desk either here or here, and I decided to take a pencil the one day, and I was working on something, and the pencil went up into my thumb. It hurt me real bad, because I was pounding down and I wasn't paying attention to anything, and that's what happened. So, but yeah. Yep. This class I never had. The next class down was Mrs. Ray's class. I mean, I'm talking I was here from 98 to about 2002, 3. This was Mrs. Ray's class. Never had her class, but I remember walking in here. It was a round horseshoe table.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Dylan had.
Was the table like
Just
that?
like that, we would sit, not in this room, but we'd sit right around each edge of it. Yeah. I remember that. Not in this class though, but still getting the idea, the gist. What? Yeah, take chalk and do that. Easy.
Reminds me of Grandma's.
Mm-hmm. Now the room that's down this way is the one I was in.
Linoleum.
They had restrooms on both floors, that's pretty nice. Yeah. Utility room. This was my special arts class.
Another room, I didn't have this room. I didn't have this class.
I love that thing that you said the kids go around on. That's
Yeah.
cool. And they have the
Excuse
merry-go-round.
me.
We gotta get rid of that. Kids are falling off and hurting themselves.
Yep.
And for,
And I'm gonna walk down this other hallway. Now this is, the room on the left is where I went in, which was Miss Dillon's room.
that was Miss Napier's too for Ashley.
This one right here.
Yep. Yeah.
This is exactly the room.
Yep.
Hi.
You know what room this was, right?
Yours was Napier, mine was Dillon.
Hi. Yeah, and then Mr. Z's.
All these rooms have a smell.
Yeah, they
They
did.
do, a unique, yeah, they're all a little different,
Yep.
but yeah.
A divider. Do you remember looking out this window? Sit here.